Good day everyone, this is Johann and welcome to my second cycle RD videos in clinical chemistry. The first thing we should do after donning the PPE is to disinfect the working area. Then, we must prepare a clean and labeled test tubes. Write GLU for glucose, UA for uric acid, and CREA for creatinine test. Next is to centrifuge the samples for 10 minutes at high speed. For glucose test, we have to mix 1000 UL of working reagent and 10 UL of serum sample. Make sure to use a different pipette tips for both working reagent and serum sample. Also, we have to be cautious in dispensing the reagent and the serum sample to avoid bubbles, as this can alter the results. Mix it using the figure of 8 technique to avoid bubbles, then incubate for 10 minutes at room temperature. We will now then use the Humalyzer Primus to test the sample for glucose. First is to aspirate the sample. Then, once the graph appears, immediately remove the sample. Wait for a few seconds for the result to appear in the screen. To convert the result from SI unit to conventional unit, you have to divide the result with the conversion factor of 0.0555. For uric acid test, add 1000 UL of working reagent in a clean and labeled test tube. Then, add 25 UL of serum sample, mix, and incubate for 10 minutes at room temperature. Discard the used pipette tips in the beaker labeled with used tips with Lysol. In using the Humalyzer Primus, make sure that the test is labeled with UA for uric acid. Then, aspirate the sample by pressing the red button. Then, once the graph appears, immediately remove the sample. Then, wait for a few seconds for the results to appear on the screen. The conversion factor of uric acid is 0.0595. For creatinine test, there are two working reagents involved, the creatinine base and the creatinine dye. The difference of the two is that the creatinine base is the blue cupped bottle, while the creatinine dye is the red cupped bottle. In using these reagents, you should be cautious not to interchange their cups. Add 500 UL of creatinine base in a clean labeled test tube, then add 500 UL of creatinine dye. Use separate pipette tips for the base and the dye. Bring the mixture of working reagent and the serum sample near to the Humalyzer Primus. Then, dispense 100 UL of serum sample. After doing so, mix and aspirate in the machine after 60 seconds of addition of serum and reagents. Once a graph appears on the screen, immediately remove the sample. Then, wait for the results to pop into the screen. Once the first reading of result appears, set the timer for 60 seconds and aspirate the sample again. Remember to immediately remove the sample once the graph appears on the screen. To convert the result to SI unit, you have to multiply it to the conversion factor of 88.4. After the computation and recording of results, you must clean up your working area and do not forget to disinfect. And that's it. This has been Johann, and thank you for watching.